Alrighty then. Welcome. We're about 8 minutes past the start, but we're all in good shape. So I just went over the fact that videos are now, if you click on Panopto, you will actually see the recordings from this class. So we should see, this should automatically post, the one that I'm doing right now, and this lovely Panopto window should automatically post once we're done recording and it's done processing. So I will copy this web link. I do not have Discord installed on here, so we're not going to worry about that. So webcasts, I'll have to install Discord again on this new box to do that. So we're going to minimize that and not worry too much about it once I verify that my PC is going to get sent there. Instructor HDMI to all destinations. Yes. Yes. Is it going to the recording? It is. Okay, perfect. Alrighty. So let's fire up that VM. Anybody want to give us a recap? Last time in Kali and Bash scripting,
we were attempting to try to pass a file off as an argument inside of Bash script in order to open it, screw with it, and say something.
Correct. All right, so we have. Oh. All right, yeah. Okay, so anybody that's worried about my desktop, this is for church.
Sure. Is that a Lambo on your? I mean, it's not a real car.
It is not a real car.
It looked like it had a Lambo logo. It looks like the Bull, and it looks like the Lamborghini.
We'll see. Somebody asked me today, it's like, where is that from? I got this computer and I Googled HD wallpaper, and it was the first one that popped up.
That's a Lambo icon.
All right, so this is my VM, a Kali VM. We'll look at that. So when we last left our heroes, this is what we had, right? We learned how to take a file name as an argument, store it as a variable, and then do something with it, right? So I asked you guys to create a file that did this, and then after you input or you take that file as an argument, it will print out the cron jobs that opened in that file, right? All the logs of cron jobs that opened inside that file. Now, when we did that last time and we looked at the output of the cron jobs that opened, the reason that was handy is because we could see that there was a cron job that was happening every hour, and there was a cron job that was happening once every 24 hours. So that's kind of nice, right? So what I would like to do now is we're going to stretch ourselves a little bit, and between today and next Tuesday, we're going to do the next version of this file. So you need to turn in the first version by tonight, I believe, by 11:59 tonight. Again, you guys, it's okay to collaborate and work in groups, but I need you to each submit your own file, your own programming project that you wrote yourself, right?
Yeah, that's the generic one, right? Just have it do something and print it out. It wasn't specific.
Right.
Okay.
Well, so what I'm talking about is each assignment that we make in here, they're individual assignments, not group assignments, right?
Yeah, I was talking. You were mentioning the cron command. I was talking about when you said, "Hey, you come up with something to view it and mess around with it." You weren't specifically talking about that argument. You were talking about fine, just do something. That was how I understood it, anyway.
We're talking about last class.
Right. Like we did that, but you're like, let's see, have a bash script except the
Oh yeah, I did like say generically, like have it print something.
Yeah. If you want something specific, I can do that,
Yeah.
but I did not.
So we can change that. We can change that. Just keep me honest, right? And that's good. All right. So what I would like to do between now and next Tuesday is we're going to work on skills, because I would like us to be able to read in multiple files that are in the same directory, right? So we're going to read in multiple files from a directory and do something with them. So the first thing that we need to learn how to do is how to look at a directory that has a lot of files and isolate just the files that we want to do operations on. All right, that's somebody's VM yelling at them. So. All right, so we can be done with this script right here. I'm going to do Control X. We're going to save and get out of there. All right, so let's do a little quick recap. I'm just hitting the up arrow. Go back to this, right? So this is the output that we had before. So we can see that every hour on the 17th minute and 1 second, every single hour, there's some cron job running. Now, the cool thing would be to figure out what cron job is running, and is it an okay cron job to have running? What is a cron job?
Something that happens on a regular basis where it's like timed. It's like, okay, this happens this time, this time, this time.
Yep, it's a task that you can pre-schedule to happen at a certain time or when a certain trigger happens. It's much like a scheduled task in Windows. So why would you be interested in what cron jobs are running on a box?
In case your friend James made one to back up the home directory into the root and overfill the root.
Yeah. Or in case your friend Zhao has dropped something on there that is every hour on the hour taking any new files and uploading them to a Chinese server somewhere, right? We want to make sure that nobody has any cron jobs on there that are allowing them to have persistence on your network or doing anything to compromise the security of our network. So we will move on now and do some other things. But what I'd like to do is I want to practice now looking when we have multiple files in a particular directory. So first off, I want to log in to my... All right, we're going to log into our Canvas, and we're going to download. I put 4 new files in there that we're going to download. What in the blue blazes? This better not be my password.
It looks about right.
Okay, well, we're going to do something really quickly.
This is fine. This is totally
Dang it,
fine.
he found out.
Do not ask. Do not do that.
You have to use every
Yes,
character
we
once,
do.
every number once,
It's too late.
every letter once.
The NSA already has it.
Oh, well, I'm sure they can have it. They'd have to have a FISA warrant to be able to get it, so if they have that, I'm cool.
That's a conspiracy.
Okay. No, FISA's no joke, man. That stuff's nuts.
Well, at least you got 2-factor on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually hate that on my phone. It's like, I'm on my phone, it's like, send a text message to your phone so you can access it on your phone.
Well, the conspiracy is just.
Oh, there was another one?
That makes sense.
How dare they?
Conspiracy.
All right, so we're going to go to this class, which is this here.
All right, where are the files?
Oh, by the way, has the bookstore ever come up with the... Okay. So my other class is having issues with that too. So we'll figure it out. Okay.
Which files are we,
We're going to go to Files on the left here. And we are going to download an SSH Security Lab. I just threw them in there because that's where the other one was. you'll see there are 4 spiffy new files. 78.auth.log, 78.auth.log.1, and 230. So this is the last octet of an IP address. So this is the whatever dot 78. So we're just going to download these to a location on our box, and then we can move them into the folder they need to be moved to. Now that I've downloaded, I'm personally going to grab these guys and let's see. Can I? Okay. I'm not very good at the Linux GUI. Guess I can't copy those.
No, because you're in the down, you need to hit the folder icon to actually pull them up in the folder. No. To the,
Oh, this guy?
Yeah, also, that's just Firefox.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
now you're.
It's still a GUI. It's not a command line. All right. Okay, so here we go. This is the file explorer. So I should, in theory, be able to cut this mamma jamma and throw it into Kali bash scripts, right? Okay, this is getting kind of ugly for us. So I personally want to take a little bit of time here to, I'm just going to open a terminal in here. You guys know how to do things in the GUI. All right, so here's all what we have. I'm going to make a directory called logs. And now what I want to do is I want to move everything that, all of these log files into that directory called logs, right? So there's a logs directory now. And I want to move everything that, all of the files that have this lowercase log in there, everything except this guy, that's a .sh file. So I want to move all the .log files into that logs directory. So I should be able to do this. mv star.log. So move lets you take something and put it in a different place. This is how you rename a file, by the way. So move star.log to /. So dot means the current directory, and the slash means I'm going to a new subdirectory there. So will this work?
For some of them.
Let's see what happens.
Do you have a log subdirectory?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's there.
we just made it in the command right above. Make 3 logs. So let's hit enter and see what happens. Now let's do ls for that bash scripts directory.
You still have your .1.
Uh-oh. Well, but why didn't that work? Because we have star.log, but, you know, it's got, that has a .log in there. Why didn't it work?
You didn't identify things that have characters trailing along.
Yeah, so that star.log, it's going to match, the star says match anything and any number of them before, right? But it would still have to end in .log. So because those other ones did not end in .log, it didn't grab them. It still had stuff afterwards. So that didn't match this expression that we made. Yes, exactly. So
Would the space after .log make a difference to it?
no, so the space after .log says, hey, we're ready for the next argument. The move command takes 2 arguments, what you want to move and where you want to move it to. So I just said all the files that end in .log, but what I meant to say is anything that has a .log in it. So that star, the asterisk before that says, I don't care what's on the left side of it, as long as it has .log. Well, I had the end, but I need to also say a star right here after this So I can say, this now says, hey, move anything that has .log in it, lowercase, move it to this .logs directory.
But you're gonna wind up grabbing that auth.log.ssh.
You think we're gonna grab this one?
No, not that one. The one below it.
Oh, you think we're gonna grab this one?
Yeah.
Oh, good point. Well, since Keith stole my thunder here,
Oh, I'm sorry.
you're fine. That's
I'm
good.
sorry.
It's good. You say it. Okay? So that one's going to end up moving, and we don't want to move that one, right? That's different. That's not an auth.log file. Okay? So how can we move these two files, but no other files, into that .logs? This star is not going to do it for us. That's going to move an extra one.
It will. Well,
It's going to move an extra file,
right, yeah.
right? So we don't want to do that. We want to actually
You want the answer, you want me to shut up?
give them just a second. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to reverse what we did before. I'm going to say, hey, go to that logs directory in this current directory /logs, and then I want you to grab anything that has star.log, and I want to move it back to the current directory we're in. And now, okay, there's our original one. So let's give this another try. Let's try to make an expression that will allow us to grab any files that say .log or .log.1.
DJ,
What?
is there, I forget, what was like, you know how like there's, like my first bash script is like cyan colored? Like the color is different, you know, like how your other auth logs are just like all white?
Yeah,
What's the difference between those colors again? Like,
that's a great question.
Cyan.
What's the blue mean?
Directory.
And what's the green mean?
Executable.
okay, because is there like, okay.
So white is regular files. Green is files with executable permissions. So you can, basically, it's like a .exe. You can run it. And then blue is a directory or a folder.
So let's take a look here and do ls-la. And when we do that, we see that this takeargs.sh isn't showing up as green, and this one is. So it's not just the file extension, because those are the same, but this one's not green and this one is green. So they have a timestamp, who cares? You come over here, there's an executable permission that's missing on this one. So let's change that. Remember how we changed that, anybody?
Schwab.
Schmod. Plus.
Okay.
X or something.
Plus W plus A.
Just do 777. What could go wrong?
Yes.
Space and then the file name.
Yeah. Can you just keep adding file names to move?
That it? Now let's look again. Oh, what do you know? Check that out. Okay. So that's a great question, Daniel, and thanks to everybody for coming together to help answer it. Okay. So back to where we were. We want to move all these auth.log and auth.log.1s. We want anything that ends in .log or .log.1, we want to move into this logs subdirectory here. So how are we going to do that? Well, some people might be like, well, duh, DJ, go back to your file explorer. It's really easy, and then you can just drag and drop them in. Yes, that's true, okay? But if you advance in your career, you're probably going to have to, at some point, interact with a Linux-based instance only through the command line. You can always count on the command line being there. You cannot always count on having a GUI. So while I completely agree with you, in this case, when you're only moving 4 files, it makes sense to use the GUI to do that. But imagine that there were 10,000 files in this directory, and they were all mixed in through there. You do not want to be using a GUI to do that. First of all, your GUI is probably going to lock up just trying to load because you have so much stuff it has to render. But you also want to have an automated process. You want to have a script that you can just dump into a folder and move stuff, right? When you can automate these things, it multiplies your time. All right, so
But you still get paid the same.
you still get paid the same, you're right. But it's less effort. All right, so how are we going to do this, guys? So somebody besides Keith and Josh, somebody else, what are we going to do?
I actually have a point of clarification
Sure.
potentially because I don't know how many other people are in this particular boat with me, but I'm having to learn Linux while learning Bash scripting.
That's okay.
And so if I'm moving something, if you're not in the directory that you want to look at, you have to type in, I
The
want to
full
move it from this
path.
directory to
Yep.
But you can move it from this by just telling log.log. But wherever you're going to put it, you have to specify like dot.
Yes. So when I'm saying move or copy or any kind of command, and I want to specify a file that's in my current directory, that's fine. Think of it like, imagine that we're together, right? And I say, hey, I need you to hand me that candy bar. Where are you going to start looking if we're together in this room?
Right next to it.
What is
Yeah.
the path?
You're going to look in this room, like you're going to look around for a candy bar and say, how did I miss that, right? If I want to tell you that you need to look for a candy bar, but you need to look somewhere else, I'm going to tell you exactly where to look, right? I'm going to say, hey, look for that candy bar in room 371 of BAB. I'm going to give you a location where you need to go to look. I'm not talking about right here. Well, Linux does the same sort of thing. I need to tell Linux where I want it to look. Any of these commands, they want to know where you want it to do things. So if I say, hey, can you move that server to the chair? You're not going to think, oh, he's talking about a chair in Stanford University and the such and such psychology building in Dr. such and such's office, right? That'd be preposterous. If you did that, if you picked some random chair to move it to, I would never, ever ask you to do anything again, right? You wouldn't want a utility on Linux that did that. So you want it to do exactly what you tell it. So if I say, hey, can you move that server to the chair? What's your first question going to be to me if you want to get it right? Or not server, that switch. Move one of those move that switch to the chair. First of all, which switch, right? You're going to process it in the order that I gave it to you. Move that switch. Which switch? There are 20 switches over there. So which one am I moving? Right? And that's like if I start to try to do tab complete on something, it'll be like, hey, there are 20 files in here that start with A. Right? Like if I say cat A and I try to tab complete, it's going to say, hey, look, there's 3 different files here that start with A. Which one do you mean? So I'm going to have to keep typing stuff. If I type AU and hit tab, sorry. Oh, well, that's my bad. So let's go back. If I start from scratch here with cat and do AU and hit tab, okay, because they match, right?
So it's
There you
going to
go.
autocomplete
The part that matches.
all the way up to the point where you have a deviation.
So if I hit tab again, it's going to say, hey, this is the problem. There's 2 of them that start with this, and you're going to have to tell me which one you need, right? It's perfectly reasonable for it to do that. It's the same thing you would do if I asked you to perform an action, right? So I've told it now cat auth.log. So if I said, I need you to move that server to the chair, first of all, you're going to think of things in this room. You're going to say there's multiple switches over there. Sorry, I keep saying server. Multiple switches over there. Which switch? Find out which switch. Okay, now which chair do you want it in? Right? So you need to make sure that you're clear about it. So when you're talking about moving a file, if I say move auth.log, is it going to go into /var/log/auth and then grab the auth.log from there? It's absolutely not going to do that. And if it did, you would hate your life if it's just randomly grabbing crap. Okay? If I specifically mean I want the auth.log that's in /var/log, then I have to write out /var/log in front of that. Right? So when we talk about environment variables, we'll talk about something, we'll talk about a different way that you can kind of help Linux know where else you want it to look. But we'll put a pin in that for now. So if I want to move these files, then I'm going to have to be able to grab just those files. Okay? I'm going to have to find something that will help me figure out just these files. All right? So what are we going to do here, guys? How can we test this? How can we test what matches when we write something? Well, let's just try a cat. Cat doesn't really do anything. It just pukes stuff to the screen.
You could ls.
Can you ls multiple files? Okay, let's try it.
This is such a weird use case.
It's a very weird use case, right? Let's stick with cat for now, right? Or we could do tail.
Yeah. Tail
Right, let's use tail and then do a -2. So tail -2 will tell us, it'll give us the last 2 lines of each file. So we can see how many files we got there. So let's try this. Or, you know what? Let's just move it. It's free to move it. How about instead of moving it, let's copy it, okay? And see if we can get it right. So copy. Now we have to tell it which files we want to get. So if you had 401 with me, you learned about regular expressions.
Oh, no.
Right? You remember this?
I knew you were going to go there.
So this little star right here means match anything. Anything and any number of things. So it doesn't matter. Anything that comes before, it's going to match. So we can do this .log. Sorry. And now we need a way to say, because we could just put a star here, but what's going to happen? We're going to get everything we want to move, but we're also going to get this guy here, and we don't want to get that. We want anything that ends in .log or .log.1. So how are we going to do that? So let's look up regular expressions and see how we can do a conditional. All right, I will do that.
It's taken forever for Firefox to load.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just put this in here. Linux command line, conditional regular expression, or regex. I do not know why the network's slow. Oh, great. It thinks I'm a robot.
Are you a robot?
It's been talking to my kids. Well, apparently I am. This is all in bash and bash and bash. Regex matching in a bash if statement. Huh. Doesn't tell you how to do things on the command line.
Go to the man page.
Yeah, you could do that. Man pages are horrible. Until you learn how to read
Go
them.
to the Arch man page.
What'd you say?
If you check out the Arch, they have a good documentation on stuff.
Or you could just be like every other Linux user and get gate kept, and then you just smack your head into a keyboard until you figure it out.
Yeah. All right, well, let's take out the Linux command line. And just look conditional regex. All right, maybe we're looking for the wrong thing. Let's try regex match multiple patterns. Here we go. How do you match multiple regex patterns for a single line? Let's say I have multiple patterns, P1, P2, P3, and so on. These patterns are different regex patterns to match different variations of data. How do I match these for the same input text most efficiently in a piece of code? Of course, I can write a for loop, blah, 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 blah. What's the accepted answer? I think you can use the pipe operator of the regex and put the different regexes in parentheses to be considered one whole regex to be matched. Huh? Worth a shot? Let's give it a try. So what are we looking for? Anything, and then we'll have .log or .log.1 and then another star. So we're saying let's copy anything that ends in either .log or .log.1. Now, are there different ways to do that? Sure. I can say it can have it's star.log and then an optional character or decimal and then anything. But we're going to run into trouble when specifically for this instance we only want these logs and log.1, these 5 files. Okay. So maybe that will match. Where do we want to copy it to? Well, we want to take it in this directory. There's a subdirectory called logs. So let's put it in there. Let's see if this works. If I do an ls, well, ls isn't going to work because we didn't do a move. We did copy. So we need to do an ls of the logs directory. So we could cd over into logs, but the quick way is just specify it this way. Okay.
The SSH.
This isn't good.
Well, you,
Didn't work because it matched. Look what it matched. Star.log and then star.
You'd have to add an omit, I guess.
Hmm?
Would you have to put an omit?
I'm gonna go grab some soup.
no, you'd have to
Well-
take out that last star.
So let's do this. Remove star.star dot logs. Now, what if I forgot to put that /logs there? Well, then it's bad news. What I'm saying here is let's delete everything from the logs directory. Don't try this at home, kids. Okay. And it doesn't want to let me do that. So what can I say?
/logs.
I mean, there is a history.
No, I can't be. I put all my programs in a different file because I always mess everything up. I removed
There, I told it what to do. Hold on. Wait, what?
You need this mouse back, DJ, or nah?
What'd you say?
You need this back?
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
I'm just gonna grab me some food from the CU.
So it's also trying to remove your directory called logs. So you need to specify that you just want the contents inside of the logs directory removed.
Oh, no, guys. What just happened?
You just removed everything in your current directory.
You got security?
All right, calm down, guys. We need to figure out what's going on.
Yes.
This is a big deal. Where's my stuff?
In the trash.
Is there trash in Linux?
Usually, yes.
Yeah, there's.
How do we get it back?
You go to your trash can.
Well, first of all, what happened? I said remove star.star/logs.
You told it to remove 2 things.
Yeah, but you said to go back and do it.
And you told it to remove logs.
Oh, so my stuff's just gone.
Should be in the
You
trash
didn't,
can.
yeah, let's say you didn't you didn't say shred. So it's on there.
Okay, so how can we get it back? Trash. Oh no. I don't see it, guys.
Oh no.
Oh no. Restore.
Guys, I don't see my stuff and I'm really worried now. How am I gonna get this back? Ooh, okay.
Now, when you did that, is it not going to consider those to be hidden files now?
So you could rebuild the UI
It's kind of stupid to say that. What did it still like, where would it go?
The actual data is still on the hard drive.
Don't you think?
Oh.
You delete the game and look what's left.
It's technically somewhere in there, right? Is it them?
Can't
It's just
look
all
at file.
scattered. Like, you could put
Oh, guys, this is really bad.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no, guys.
Can you locate file?
Be like the rest of us and just go download them again.
I'm sick to my. We can't because we did these files. Those were custom files that we made.
Backup server?
Oh, guys, I'm just so sick to my stomach. What are we
Better just
gonna-
delete the whole hard drive.
Oh, I guess we should just stop living. Right?
Just trash a lot.
What's the point of being alive? All of our stuff is gone. All right, so what did we lose? Let's take stock here. Well, we lost this. I downloaded that. This we created. It's gone now. That's gone now. Well, I guess we just lost this take args.sh, which we made. Oh, well. Okay. Do we have backups of this? Nope. So what is the lesson to take away?
Backup files.
Huh?
Backup files.
Two things. You might want to turn on the safety for remove, for RM. Even though I said sudo, remove was like, hey, we can't take that away. That's a directory. I was already screwed by the time that happened because I put star.star in there. So it took, like if I said, I want you to burn everything, and we were sitting in here, what would you think? What were we supposed to burn?
Everything.
Yeah, everything in this room, right? You wouldn't think I'd be saying, let's burn everything in the trash can outside, in the dumpster outside, right? Because we just talked about that. It's about context. So I said burn everything, and you sure did. So that's what I told Linux. I'm like, seriously, sudo, bang, bang, do it. I mean it. Delete everything. But I wanted it to delete everything in that directory. So here's what to take away. Removing stuff is very, very dangerous. Okay? Make sure that you really want to remove it. Maybe turn on the safety that'll ask you, are you sure you want to remove this? Because it would have asked me, I was trying to delete 5 files, and it would have said, delete 9 files or whatever, and I'd be like, whoa, 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 wait a minute, and I would have been able to stop. The other thing is, it's typically better to be in the directory where you want to remove things. Remove isn't like move or copy, where it's, what do you want me to remove? Or what do you want me to copy and where do you want me to copy it to? If you give remove multiple arguments, it's going to process those arguments in order. So what it did, remove star.star, removed everything from that directory. Now, luckily, I didn't have a star after that /logs because you don't remove directories with rm. You have rmdir. So rm was like, went along, I'm not going to delete that because it's a directory. But thank goodness, and thank goodness that that's all we really need is this in logs. Okay, so, okay. So we're lucky that this one went over there because it got saved by accidentally getting moved. So let's move everything back. // Now a // says go up one directory. So this should, in theory, take everything that's in this directory and move it up to the bash scripts directory. Okay, so this is empty. cd ... to move up a directory. Now I'm going to do an ls. Okay, I managed to not delete everything. Okay. All right, any day I can manage to not delete everything makes me happy. Okay, so we have about a half an hour left here, and we gotta get this command. We gotta figure out how we're gonna get these files. So now we want to move. Oh, isn't it convenient that now only the files we care about are here, and all the other ones are out of the way? I guess that's the only good byproduct of that accidental deletion of everything. So if we do it right now, we should match everything except that big long one. Okay, so let's go to our commands. Not you, remove star.star. You're dead to me. Okay, so let's go back here and let's take that star off. And let's look what we have. We say, we're going through here. We say, I want you to copy anything, I don't care what's at the beginning, but any file that ends with .log or .log.1. That extra star at the end just said that contains those things. So we want to get rid of that, and we're going to copy it over to this logs directory. Now, why do I not use move? Well, for me personally, I like to make sure that I like to copy something over, verify that the copy's there and it's good, and then I'll delete the other one that's back there. Because deleting things is for real. So let's hit enter and see if this does what we want it to do. And now we're going to figure it out. We're going to do an ls to list the directory contents of that logs directory. Guys, can we slow clap? Oh my goodness, we did it. It took us a while. What'd you say?
You could have done it without regex.
Oh yeah, we could have done it without regex, but we found a way to get it done. All right. Now, Keith says, hey, you could do it without regex. So let's go back one. Let's make a new directory. We're going to call this log. We're going to call this capital K logs or clogs. And that's going to be for Keith. And Keith's going to come to my laptop.
Oh, man.
Gonna hack in.
Oh, snap, crackle, pop. There's a lot of stuff there. CD.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah, we're in the wrong place.
Are you bash scripts? You already in bash scripts. You just listed.
Yes, I did. Okay. We'll clean that up later.
You could move the directory.
Yeah, we could, but we're going to do this right now. Okay. So he's going to not use regular expressions and move everything into that K-logs. Or copy things. Copy it over there. So let's see.
Oh, he's manually hackering in.
What?
Yeah, I don't know why that was.
I know. Dot.
You may not need
You
the
got to do a
slash.
dot slash.
Oh,
Yeah,
got me.
that's what it do.
What if we had to do everything with relevant?
All right, now now do an ls of the dot slash K-logs. Now hold on a minute. Something's missing.
Is there an additional one? I didn't know you were wanting auth.log. I thought that was an old file.
Oh, okay.
I thought we were just wanting the new files, and they all begin with a period before auth.log. So if you want that log file, you do have to do regex.
Oh, well, you don't have to do regex. You could do two separate
You
moves,
could, yeah.
right? So there's a bunch of different ways you could do it, but the way that we did it, although it took us a little while to figure out how to do that.
Oh, here we go. I got you.
Show me what you got.
Let's see here.
All right, clear everything out. Yeah, okay. Just make sure you're in the right. No. No. Yeah. CD over to that directory. There we go. Dude, I'm not a role model.
You could have just done RMRF.
Yeah. So we did this really mean thing in grad school, and we'll learn about alias a little bit later in the semester. So alias, you can say like, if I type this on the command line, I really mean this, right? So you could do alias ls to alias to make it. So if I type ls, I really mean ls space dash la. So every time I want to see that long form. If people left their computers unlocked, we would alias to rm star.star. We had backups on there, so you would lose some stuff, but you would have to restore from backup. But we only had hourly backups.
There you go.
So that was a really mean thing to do. All right.
That should work.
Okay, so yeah, we're doing 2 commands here, right?
One line, 2 commands.
1 line, 2 commands, right? So this is another way that you could potentially do it. So anyway, alias, so that alias rm ** means anytime they would type ls, it would remove everything from the directory. That's really bad. Don't do that. Okay, so why in the world, guys? I want you to answer me this honestly. We took a long time, more than a half an hour, to figure out how to write that one regular expression command to do this. There were only a few files. We easily could have used the GUI. We easily could have moved each file individually. Why did we take so much time to learn how to write that regular expression to move everything at once?
The concept.
So you can script it.
Yeah, number 1, so that you can automate it, right? You don't want to have to do this manually all the time. Yes, you will keep busy. You will not like your life after a while. And if you really do like typing individual file names one by one and moving them, let me know. I know some places you could work that would love for you to bill every hour and make money on you. For government agencies that don't know the difference between good people and people who aren't good. Yes, I'm saying you're not good. Sorry. All right. So why would we take the time to do that? Because if you force yourself to develop, so what is success? Success is effort. Effort. That is huge. Effort. It's a necessary ingredient. Okay. And then strategies, and I will say novel strategies or relevant strategies. Effort and relevant strategies, plus what else? Determination. Some people lump effort and determination together, but I can have a lot of effort. Right? But effort itself and determination themselves aren't good unless you have the right strategies. I could give you a spoon and say, hey, do you see that pine tree over there? I would like you to fell that pine tree with this spoon. Could you do that?
I hate you.
Infinite number of spoons and infinite.
Yeah, you could technically, like, yeah.
Yeah, some of you are like, am I back in the military? Like, what's happening? Right?
They usually give us an e-tool.
Yeah.
Eat your soup.
Yeah, so you could do that. Right? I remember a story, I don't know if it's true or not, but a story about Ronald Reagan was touring a communist country, and they had people that were doing earth moving. You know what that is? Like you get a bulldozer and you pick it up. But they were doing all this earth moving stuff with shovels. And he's like, why in the world do you have them doing, like 20 people doing the job that a bulldozer could do in just a couple of minutes? They're like, well, we want to keep them employed. And Ronald Reagan said, give them spoons. If your only objective is to make them do a lot of work, then don't give them good tools. This is also Stephen Covey when he talks about the 7 habits of highly effective people. It's called sharpen the axe. Have you heard that before? So if I gave you a dull axe and said cut that tree down, you could absolutely cut that tree down. It would take you a while. And if I said, if you're like, hey, I can go sharpen this axe and then cut the tree down, but it'd take me the same amount of time, so I'm just going to cut the tree down with a dull axe. Well, what happens when you have another tree? And that's what we're going in here. Yes, you could absolutely just move the files one by one, but when you get to that place where there's 10,000 files that need to be moved, are you going to be able to move all of those by hand? It's not going to be cool. If you have 10 trees to cut down now, it really makes sense to stop, take a minute, sharpen the axe, or get a chainsaw, learn how to use a chainsaw, and then cut things down. So in Linux, there are chainsaws, there are axes, there are sharp axes. I've seen people do the equivalent of cutting down a tree with the flat side of the axe. Okay? So you always want to ask yourself, not am I working hard, but am I working smart? It takes working hard and working smart to have success, right? So effort and determination, those are both good things, but you also have to have relevant strategies. Has to have a strategy that's going to work. All right, there's my my life coaching session for the day. So we have 22 minutes, DJ. How are we going to do this? All right, so what are we trying to do? We're trying to read in multiple files to a bash script. There are some different strategies that we can take. If we're trying to read in multiple files and do a printout for multiple files, we can either read a file in, do the operation on it, and then move to the next file, or we can try to read all the files in and then do those do the operation on those and store it somehow and then do the operation, right? In this case, what I'd like you guys to do is I'd like you guys to create for Thursday. I would like you guys to create some sort of script that can take the 5 files, the 230 auth.log, 230 auth.log.1, the 78.auth.log, 78.auth.log.1, and the auth.log file that will print out all of the cron jobs that are opened during all 5 of these files. Okay? Print out all of the cron jobs that were opened for all 5 of these files. Now, whether you read all these files in and make one monster file and print it out, that's fine. I don't care. Eventually, the long-term goal is I want to know for each one of these machines what cron jobs are running. Okay, so we're going to be doing this for a few sessions because the first step is to read in all these files. The next step is to combine the files from a particular machine into one. And then we're going to need to print out the cron jobs that run for each machine. And in a way that after we read all these in, it's going to give us 3 different sections somehow for each one of these machines. Does that sound like a complicated task? Yeah? No? If I said you have 30 minutes to do it right now, how many of you would panic?
I wouldn't panic. I just wouldn't be able to do it.
If you don't do it, I'm an alien who comes and says, hey, we only care about worlds where every being is good at writing bash scripts and navigating Linux. You have 30 minutes to do this project or your entire world is destroyed. How many of you are panicking now?
We're due for a good and thorough nuking.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. You made peace with your maker, you don't care. Let's go the other way then. How many of you could comfortably say you would save the world? You have 30 minutes to do this task, you would save the world.
I spent like 20 minutes crying. And then like that clarity that after you've had like a good breakdown, I think I could do it in 10.
All right. Okay, so the recording should show up in the right place now. So you guys can review this if you need to, right? So the objective here is I want eventually to read in these 5 files and then give me 3 separate, when you see what prints to the screen, I want 3 separate sections that show me for each machine what times and days are cron jobs opening. Okay? So the real world applicability here is I want to see, I got a cron job on this machine that's running every hour at the 17-minute mark. Is that happening on all my machines? Or is that just on certain machines? Okay? All right, do you guys understand? The long term is to do that. So you can get working on that if you want to. But the short term for right now, I just want you to be able to read in all 5 of these files. I want you to keep all 6. See that long one, the auth.log.ssh.login analysis? You don't have that file. And I'm actually not going to give you that file. I just realized I'm not giving that to you because that's a very. Okay, actually I can do that. because that's just a printout. That's not the actual script. That script got deleted. So I can upload that file, or you can just name a file that. You can do touch and then write that thing out. Hey, don't you go sleep on me. I'm going to call this computer Joe Biden.
Oh.
Oh.
But
I think it's going to break when it's all that file.
Yeah.
you gotta wait till it starts to stutter. Weird thing.
Like, no. No?
All right, so you can just do touch, space, and then that big long name, and it'll make that file name in there. Or if I remember, I'll upload that, right? So the reason I want you to do that is I want you to make something that will grab just that. And you should be able to because we've kind of done that in the video. But now you're going to have to combine that with what we learned before about reading in arguments. Okay? What is another way that we could write this bash script? If we want to read in multiple files, what's another way we could read in multiple files?
Python.
Well, yes, but if we're using bash.
You could take a variable and basically when you had don't ask me what the operator's called, $1 for saying take the first argument.
Mhm.
You basically say I want this variable to be all of these arguments and pass them all through. I think you can do that. You may be wrong about that.
Well, it's certain that you could say that you could get the second argument and make that another input file. But the third argument, you could just have every argument that's in there is another input file.
Could you ingest the contents of the directory?
You could do something with that directory and take the contents of specific files, right?
What about appending each file and basically making one big file since you're going to have to take them all anyway?
That's another way you could do it, right?
And then just take all of them, one file, take that one file in, that way you're not having to take 5 of them.
Yeah. So now you're talking about creating a new file, right? Because you would want to do that in a way that wouldn't change the contents of any of your files, right? You'd want to create a new file. So yes, you can absolutely do that. And by the end of this semester, I want you guys comfortable with reading files and writing new files. So that's a good, you can try that. All right. So I also want you guys to start thinking about your final project. Your final project for this class, you're going to be making a bash script that is useful for cybersecurity. Can it have pieces of Python in there? Sure. I don't mind at all. But really, the script that I showed you guys that took an auth.log file and then did this nice printout of some of the SSH login attempts that happened, I like that. And that's similar to what I'm looking for you guys to get by the end of the semester, right? Okay, so with our last 15 minutes here, I want to just take a pause and let you guys ask questions. You need to understand what we did today. And I know we kind of kept moving. I know this is recorded, but what questions do you have for me? Is there anything you want to see again?
I just have another question.
Yeah,
a clarification question. So, like, anything in those wildcard symbols, that's like saying that look for that with anything that is like that.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's like encapsulated, so just look for this.
Yeah, watch. Like touch.
This for those two.
What would happen if
I'm
you had
just
touch
stupid.
a wild card? You just try to touch everything?
Yeah.
Yeah, it updated all the metadata for everything last modified or
Okay.
one of the attributes that
You wanted to
touch does.
So touch, if you put touch and make a file and type some characters after it, it makes a file of 0 length with that name, right? So you're saying, so you're asking about that star. Like if I say, let me make a new directory. I'm going to throw stuff in. Garbage. It's a French word, right? And I want to move all those. The ABC, ABCD, and ACBD into the garbage, right? So if I say, I'm going to copy it instead of moving because, we need to learn our lesson. Star dot, or just star, what could I type in here?
ABC.
ABC?
It's not going to take the ACD though.
So you'd have to to your
okay.
regex.
So I could just do star A, right?
You could, but you're gonna get,
You're gonna get like,
I'm gonna get nothing
oh, true, because they all have trailing.
because there's stuff that comes after it too. So if you don't put anything, it won't match anything. If I put a dot right there, what will it match? Clearly, we need to review regular expressions. So a dot means one thing.
So
Right.
one character
One
following.
character, right? So I could,
So do another star.
what'd you say?
You have to do another star. So you find everything else.
So if I do another star, that's going to say anything that has an A in it. That's where we're going to lose everything in this directory, right? So we don't want to do that. So AB star, how about that?
But then you want to grab your AC, BD.
You're correct.
So you have to do 2 commands on one line.
So we're going to have to do this, right? A, and then I can do a dot. Actually, I can do this. A, and then a dot,
so dot is just like a placeholder, like.
and a dot, and a question mark. I don't know if you can use those regular expressions in here. Let's try it out.
My brain
A,
logic.
dot, question mark.
I think you need to
That's not going to work
encapsulate- Yeah,
because it'll need to be,
you have to encapsulate them with,
there's something character I'd have to use there. Let's just do A, dot, dot. No, it's still wanting to make format it into bash. There's a way to do it, right? So regular expressions work a little bit differently in bash. There's a way to do it. And I am by no means a master of command line regular expressions. You get a long way just using a single dot and actually here that dot is probably doing the literal period, right? But normally in regular expressions, a period means match one character and only one character. So here, if I did a star, let me just say grep star AB to show you, it's going to come up. Oh yeah, shoot.
You gotta do it.
You got to tell grep what to look for and then where to look.
Where? That's why.
Yep.
So,
It shouldn't have to put a star there.
hey, we can just keep trying.
Oh, I think I need to put a dash R or something.
Recursive.
But it's not. It is really. Yeah, I know, but it was like. I spent like 2 minutes on Illinois. Is not a
Wow,
country.
now it's just, this is just embarrassing.
Yeah.
All right, so there's absolutely no matches, right? So if I say ABC, there's still no matches. So that means my grep is formed wrong.
So basically, like, if you were to just have one star, it would just look for everything, like, after, like, whatever you put after the star. If you didn't put another star behind it.
Oh, I know what I have to do. Sorry, I'm stupid. Wait a second.
yeah, wouldn't you have to leave it
Yes.
instead of trailing?
No, I need to just do ls
Ah,
and then hype that to grep. There we go. Now I'm back to doing things the right way.
I'll try to tell you again.
Yeah, you did, and I'm an idiot. Star dash A. Oh, you have to do something to do regular expressions, right? Or is it E? Okay. Well, let's just grep for ABC. There we go.
So you still didn't have anything trailing your A, so it's looking for something A.
So grep will look for anything. If I just grep for A, it'll just match A wherever it is and it'll return the whole line that has that. But
Right, but if you do a star A though,
I think you might have to use egrep to do that.
so if you did ls grep a star, it would there it is.
Yeah. So you can use egrep. Yeah, obviously, I need to work on my egrep and grep skills on the command line with regular expressions, but it's possible. All right, so the last 6 minutes have just confused everybody. Please, everyone look up here. Let me set my pen for 6 minutes. Blink, 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 blink. You forgot all that. All right, so I guess what you've learned is you can have a successful career and not know everything there is to know about Linux. But the thing is, knowing that you can do things is really important, and seeing that you can do things, because then you can go do some research and figure that stuff out. So, speaking of figuring stuff out, let's be completely clear what I'm asking you to do tonight. So, tonight, you're supposed to turn in something where you read in a file. You take in a file. You create a bash script that you can give a file as an argument, and it will read that file in and do something with it. If you want to stretch yourself, make this something that you do. Print out those cron jobs that started with the date time group. Okay? If you watch the video from last session, from last Thursday, it'll show you exactly how we did that and work through that. Okay? What am I asking you to do for Thursday? I will go change what I put in Canvas. But for Thursday, I would like you to read in multiple files from the same directory and do something with it. I suggest printing out those the start of cron jobs, but you can determine what it is you do. Now there are many ways that you can read in multiple files. You can read in one file at a time. You can just iterate through till there are no more files left. There's lots of things we could do. I just want you to be able to show to me that you can write a single script that is able to read in more than one file in the same directory. All right? All right, I'm going to end the recording.